A few ticks back, we encountered the world of Warcraft. This is from our good friends at Blizzard. Guess what? It's time for Blizzard to come back and visit us again. We're talking about Starcraft this time, not Warcraft. This is number 33 on our list of the 100 greatest video games of all time. And Starcraft is more than a game for some people. It's a way of life. It's a religion.
Absolutely. Tournament level game escapism that completely taken over people's lives out there. I think this is our highest rated RTS on our top 100 list.
This is one of those games that you read about people dying while slumped over keyboards.
Sure, yeah.
Like, it's one of those games that gets into your life and you can't get rid of it.
Well, it's a very rich, accessible, super fun, super well-designed experience.
Reporting for duty.
That anybody can jump in and start to get something out of, but once you know the intricacies and the details and different strategies for each of the Protoss or the Zergs or the Terrans, once you get some of that stuff, this gets under your skin and you cannot stop playing it.
Next thing you know, you're slumped over a keyboard dead.
Yes, sir.
Again, we find that the first kick at the can that Blizzard had with this thing way back in 1998 was such a revelation, such a revolution.
Did it
that
right.
The sequel, which came many, many years later, I think it took 10 to 12 years after that game.
Tough act to follow.
And we still have some DLC and some expansion stuff to play with Starcraft II. It was a tough act to follow.
Yeah, you know, we've talked about some other games that have annual installations, annual iterations, and games that release little updates as they go forward. These Starcraft games are the exact opposite of that. It takes them a very long time to build a new one. They imbue this with so much craft and life and soul and heart that they want to make something that will last more than 12 months. They want to make something that will maybe last a decade.
Jacked up and good to go.
I wish more game developers approach their craft. I mean, not everybody has the resources that Blizzard has.
But they knew it right from the beginning, because in the 90s, they weren't this powerhouse. They didn't have World of Warcraft money to throw around. But what they did understand is the more labor that went into the fiction building, into crafting characters and making that emotional connection to these little tiny objects that we were monkeying around with, the further our love affair with this game design was going to last, and they understood that.
Delighted to, sir.
This was a wonderful game. We've talked about StarCraft a number of times on this show. Let's take a look.
Starcraft for the PC,
Okay,
man.
StarCraft. Let me tell you something about StarCraft. Okay, the sound is so awesome. I mean, you know, I'm an audio guy. I know these things.
I love the alien races and the diversity within the languages
cool.
and stuff.
You get three different races.
And there's a really cool storyline behind the mission mode.
Was it a little disappointing?
No.
Did you think there was going to be a lot more of those?
See, I wasn't a huge Warcraft player, so for me, this was my first experience with this thing and really immersing myself in the Blizzard real-time strategy world. I loved it, man. I thought it was awesome. It's one of the coolest PC games I've played.
Yeah, me too. I thought there was going to be a lot more 3D stuff, but you know, oh well, maybe next time.
Yeah.
You know, I love StarCraft. I give it a 9.3.
I give it a 9 out of 10. It's a killer game. Check it out. I'm sure a lot of people.
Multiplayer.
Yeah, multiplayer. Get on Battle.net. Get on Heat.
Okay.
It's out there, man. It's a great game.
All right, so what'd you think of StarCraft 64 for the Nintendo 64?
Why?
This is another PC game on a console that just, there's no way you can have a good time with it, because the control is just unbearable. You have to build units, you have to collect resources, you've got to get them all out in formation. You do get the 3 different races, but you can't keep up because the controller doesn't work with this game. So it's like a total waste of time. So unsurprisingly, the hype around StarCraft II has been enormous, and
Off the charts, pre-orders, collector's editions.
Scott Jones, was it warranted? Is this the be-all, end-all RTS experience?
You know what? For me, no. I'm impressed right from the start with the level of polish. You know, obviously Blizzard knows what they're doing. They've done this before. They'll do it again.
It's a beautiful game.
Yeah, the cutscenes, the rendering of all the facial expressions, the voice acting, every little detail feels very considered in this experience.
Absolutely, and it feels very connected to the original StarCraft as well. And so if you're one of the millions and millions of fans of the original game, this is going to feel like a homecoming. And frankly, I was a bit shocked that we're not getting a little more innovation in 2010 after all of this wait.
So Blizzard and StarCraft fans, may you live long and prosper.
That's the wrong franchise. But congratulations, StarCraft. We love you, number 33.